I love bugs. Dragonflies. Dragonflies are fierce hunting insects. They have big eyes that take up over half their head and a sharp mouth for cutting up their meals. They hunt smaller insects such as flies around rivers, lakes, and ponds. Water baby. A young dragonfly is called a nymph. It doesn't have any wings. It lives in ponds and is a fierce hunter, just like the adult dragonfly. The wings make a whirling noise as they beat up and down 10 times every second. When it has found a meal, the dragonfly begins to bite it into pieces to eat its softer parts. This is the dragonfly. Honeybees. Honeybee. Honeybees live in a group or a colony in a nest. They share jobs such as finding food, cleaning the nest, and caring for young. In fact, they will even die for each other so that the whole colony can survive. Flower power. All bees collect pollen. They spread it from flower to flower to make new seeds. If there were fewer bees, there would be fewer flowers. Some holes in the nest contain food that bees have made from flower, nectar, and pollen. This is honey. A bee's sting is at the end of its body. If it stings an enemy, the back part of the body is torn off and the bee dies. Oh, these are honeybees. Praying mantis. Praying mantis. Few insects are fiercer than the praying mantis. It is named because its front legs are folded as if it were praying. It waits for a fly or a moth to come near. Then it scoops it up with its sharp legs. The mantis has big eyes and hunts mainly by sight. Sometimes it creeps up on its prey, but it usually grabs its meal out of mid-air. The mantis is green to match the leaves around it. This means that its prey does not notice any danger until it is too late. Big bugs. The biggest praying mantis has a body length of 6 inches. The mantis walks slowly on its 4 back legs. It can open its wings and fly to escape enemies or to find a mate. Monarch butterflies. Monarch butterfly. No insect flies further than the monarch butterfly. Each year, these big butterflies fly hundreds of miles on their long journeys called the migrations. They do this to breed and then they die. Full cycle. Butterflies lay eggs which hatch into caterpillars which become chrysalises which become butterflies. The monarch's wings are 4 inches across. The bright patterns and spots warn enemies that the butterfly isn't good to eat. There are long feelers on the butterfly's heads. These can smell the air for scents of flowers. This is the monarch butterfly. It's pretty. Earwig. Earwigs don't crawl into people's ears. They like dark, damp places, such as under tree bark, logs, and stones. During the day, they like to hide. At night, they come out to feed on flower petals. One of their favorite foods. Caring mom. A mother earwig takes good care of her eggs. She cleans and protects them. The piercers are used to fold up its wings after flying. The female earwig has almost straight piercers. This is the male earwig. His piercers are curled. This is the earwig. Army ants. Army ants. Army ants march in long lines across the forest floor until they feel hungry. Then they stop. Some begin to make a nest that will last for a few days. Others set out to find food. They kill any animals they come across. The ants crowd around a victim. They bite and sting it, then chop it into tiny pieces with their strong jaws. There can be thousands and thousands of ants in one group. Giant queen. Only a queen ant lays eggs. She is huge, 5 times bigger than a guard, which is twice as big as a worker. These are the army ants. Locust. Locusts are a type of grasshopper. They live in hot, dry areas. Sometimes when lots of rain falls and plants grow quickly, locusts feed well. Then more locusts are born. Soon there are millions of them, and they take to the air in a huge, hungry cloud. As locusts feed, they crawl or hop from plant to plant. They use their long, strong back legs to leap away from danger. If locusts find a field of crops, they swoop down and begin to eat. The whole field may be eaten in less than an hour. A giant swarm of locusts darkens the sky as it flies in search of food. These are locusts. Great diving beetle. Ooh. The great diving beetle lives in ponds. It is fast and fierce with big sharp jaws to grab and eat animals such as tadpoles, worms, and baby fish. The beetle traps bubbles of air at the water's surface. It stores the air under its wings so it can breathe underwater. The beetle grabs its dinner, such as the tadpole, with its front feet, then pulls it into its sharp jaws. A tasty meal. Diving beetles quickly catch food that falls into the pond, from flies to worms. The strong legs work like paddles to row them through the water. This is the great diving beetle. Moon moth. Ooh. A moon moth. The moon moth flies like a ghost through the night sky. Most moths live like the light of the moon as they search for plant juices to drink. By day, they rest in cracks in rocks or among leaves. Butterflies prefer to fly during the day. Moths have feelers shaped like feathers. The moon moth's long tail is mainly for show, to attract a partner. By day, as the moths rest, the tail looks like old curled up leaves. Make a moth. Fold some paper in half. Open it up and paint moth wings on one side. Fold the paper and press down. Open it to see all the moth. Cool. This is the moon moth. Mosquito. Ooh. Mosquito. Many insects spread germs and disease. The mosquito is one of the most dangerous. In hotter parts of the world, when it bites people to suck their blood, it may pass on a terrible illness such as malaria or yellow fever. The mosquito searches for where the skin is thin, such as near the wrist or ankles. As the mosquito sucks blood, its body swells up like a red balloon. Then it slides out its feeding tube and buzzes off. Growing up, baby mosquitoes or nymphs grow up in ponds and ditches. They don't look like their parents to begin with. These are mosquitoes. Fun facts. Dragonfly. These insects are not really flies, and they are called dragonflies because of their fierce jaws. Honeybees. A worker honeybee usually lives for just 28 to 35 days. Praying mantis. This insect is able to turn its head around in all directions. Monarch butterfly. If it rains, the monarch butterfly cannot fly. Earwig. Some earwigs have been known to tunnel up to 6 feet into the soil. Army ants. There are about 150 different kinds of army ants. Locust. A swarm of locusts has been known to travel 3,000 miles in 10 days. The great diving beetle. Whoa. The great diving beetle. The young larvae of the great diving beetle may be even bigger and fiercer than the adults. Moon moth. These moths do not have mouths and cannot feed. They live for just 1 week. Mosquitoes. The wings of the mosquitoes beat 500 times each second. Wow. I love bugs. Hope you do too. The end.